Brother, this morning is not ordinary. The fact that you woke up is not random. God did not allow you to open your eyes today by accident. There is purpose still attached to your name. There is strength still hidden inside your spirit. You may feel tired. You may feel uncertain. But your existence this morning is proof that heaven has not finished writing your story. Before the world speaks to you, let God speak first. Before your phone lights up, let your spirit light up. This morning is not about rushing into responsibility. It is about aligning your heart with the one who controls your direction. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not weak. God is building something inside you that requires pressure, patience, and persistence. And today is part of that process. So breathe deeply, stand firmly, and remind yourself, if God woke you up, He is not done with you. Brother, sometimes God allows silence not to punish you, but to prepare you. When prayers feel unanswered, when doors seem closed, when nothing appears to be moving, that is often the season where roots grow deeper. God is more concerned with your character than your comfort. Comfort feels good, but character builds destiny. If everything came easily, you would not develop the discipline required to sustain the blessing. Do not confuse delay with denial. Do not mistake preparation for rejection. God is not withholding success from you. He is strengthening you for it. This morning, instead of asking, "Why is this taking so long?" ask, "Lord, what are you teaching me in this season?" Because when the lesson is learned, the level changes. Brother, fear will try to convince you that you are not ready. But God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. If the vision feels bigger than you, that is because it is meant to require Him. You were never designed to carry your destiny alone. You were designed to walk with God. When you rely only on your strength, anxiety grows. When you rely on His strength, peace grows. This morning, surrender your overthinking. Surrender your constant need to control outcomes. Trust does not mean you stop working. It means you work with confidence, knowing God directs the results. Faith is not loud. Faith is steady. Faith wakes up and keeps moving even when emotions fluctuate. And brother, your faith will carry you further than your fear ever could. Brother, your struggle does not disqualify you. In fact, it refines you. Gold is purified by fire, not comfort. Strength is developed under resistance, not ease. God sees the private battles no one else knows about. The discipline you build in secret will one day support you in public. The tears you cry in prayer are not wasted. Heaven counts faithfulness more than applause. You may not see immediate progress, but invisible growth is still growth. Roots grow underground before fruit appears above. Do not measure your progress only by visible results. Measure it by your obedience. Measure it by your consistency. Measure it by your willingness to keep going. Brother, if you stay faithful in this season, the reward will be greater than the waiting. This morning, choose alignment over anxiety. Instead of letting pressure dictate your mood, let God anchor your spirit. You are not defined by yesterday's mistakes or last season's failures. When God forgives, He does not remind. When God restores, He does not shame. The enemy whispers about your past. God speaks about your future. Lift your head, Straighten your posture. Speak strength over yourself. Declare that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a servant of purpose. You were created with intention. You were placed in this generation for a reason. And today, you rise not because everything is perfect, but because God is present. Brother, discipline will take you where motivation cannot. Feelings change, emotions fluctuate, but commitment builds legacy. You cannot wait until you feel ready to step into purpose. Readiness grows through action. God is not asking you to be perfect. He is asking you to be faithful. Faithfulness in small things builds authority in greater things. The man who controls his mornings will eventually control his destiny. Wake up with intention. Speak life over your day before negativity speaks first. Protect your mind like you protect your body. Not every thought deserves space. Not every opinion deserves attention. Remember this, your consistency will outlast your doubts. And when you feel like quitting, remind yourself why you started. God did not plant vision inside you for decoration. He planted it for execution. So move, even if it's slow, even if it's quiet, but move. Brother, comparison is silent poison. The moment you start measuring your journey against someone else's timeline, you lose peace. God writes different stories for different men. Some bloom early, some build slowly. But slow growth often creates stronger foundations. What comes quickly can leave quickly. What is built patiently lasts longer. Stop asking, "Why not me yet?" and start saying, "Prepare me fully." Because premature success without maturity becomes pressure you cannot handle. God knows the weight of your future. He will not release you into something you are not ready to carry. Today, focus on improvement, not competition. Growth, not applause. Alignment, not approval. Brother, your lane is blessed. Stay in it. You are not weak because you struggle. You are human, but weakness becomes strength when surrendered to God. The strongest men are not those who hide pain. They are those who pray through it. Silence with God builds power within you. The world tells you to react quickly. God teaches you to respond wisely. This morning, slow your spirit down. Let clarity replace chaos. Let truth silence insecurity. There is strength in calmness. There is authority in self-control. There is power in patience. Brother, the man who controls himself is more dangerous than the man who controls others. And with God guiding you, your calm will defeat your chaos. Brother, you are not stuck. You are being shaped. Pressure feels uncomfortable because it stretches you beyond old limits. But growth always requires stretching. When God stretches you, He is expanding your capacity. Bigger responsibility requires a bigger mindset. Higher calling requires deeper character. Do not shrink back when things feel intense. Lean in. Ask for wisdom. Ask for endurance. Ask for strength. Your breakthrough is often hidden inside your persistence. Most men quit right before momentum shifts. Do not be most men. Be the man who stays, the man who believes, the man who builds, because what God is forming in you is greater than what you are feeling around you. This morning, make a decision, not an emotional decision, a committed one. Decide that you will trust God even when outcomes are unclear. Decide that you will show up even when motivation is low. Your future self is watching your discipline today. Every prayer whispered in faith plants a seed. Every disciplined action waters it. And every day you refuse to quit, roots grow deeper. You are not just surviving this season. You are being strengthened for the next level. Brother, walk with confidence today, not arrogance. Confidence. The quiet confidence of a man who knows God is walking beside him. And when challenges appear, stand firm. Because with God, you are not behind. You are being prepared. Brother, responsibility is not a burden when you understand your calling. Many men run from responsibility because it feels heavy, but weight builds muscle. Pressure builds endurance. Responsibility builds leaders. God did not create you to drift through life, reacting to circumstances. He created you to lead your spirit first, then your environment. Leadership begins in private. How you wake up, how you speak to yourself, how you handle frustration, how you manage time. You don't become strong when people are watching. You become strong when no one sees you choosing discipline. This morning, do not complain about what feels heavy. Ask God to increase your strength to carry it, because the weight you handle today prepares you for influence tomorrow, and influence without strength becomes collapse. So embrace the process. God is shaping you into a man who can handle more. Brother, peace is power. A calm mind makes better decisions than an emotional one. The world rewards speed. God rewards wisdom. When stress rises, pause before reacting. Pray before speaking. Think before moving. A controlled response is stronger than a loud reaction. God did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-discipline. That discipline includes emotional control. You are not obligated to respond to every challenge immediately. You are allowed to breathe, to process, to seek guidance. The strongest men are not explosive. They are stable. And stability comes from knowing that no matter what shifts around you, God remains constant. This morning, protect your peace. Guard your focus. Move with intention. Peace is not weakness. It is authority under control. Brother, your environment influences your direction. What you listen to shapes your mindset. What you watch influences your focus. What you tolerate becomes your standard. If you want to rise, you must remove what pulls you down. Not everyone can walk into your next season with you. Not every habit deserves to stay. Growth requires pruning. God removes distractions not to hurt you, but to help you concentrate. Ask yourself, is this helping me grow? Is this building my discipline? Is this strengthening my faith? If not, be brave enough to let it go. Because elevation demands separation. And when God begins to lift you, the first thing He changes is your surroundings. Protect your standards. Protect your direction. Protect your destiny. Brother, there will be days when progress feels invisible. You work hard. You pray consistently. You try to improve. Yet results seem delayed. Do not confuse unseen progress with failure. Roots grow underground long before fruit appears above ground. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean growth has stopped. God is building your foundation. Foundations are not glamorous. They are hidden, but without them, nothing stands long term. Trust the slow days. Trust the quiet mornings. Trust the consistent effort. Great men are not built in excitement. They are built in repetition. This morning, commit to repetition. Small improvements, daily obedience, steady focus, because invisible growth today becomes undeniable strength tomorrow. Brother, gratitude unlocks strength. When you focus only on what is missing, you feel weak. When you recognize what remains, you feel empowered. You are still breathing, still capable, still learning, still growing. Not everything is perfect, but not everything is broken either. Thank God for the opportunity to try again. Thank Him for the strength to wake up. Thank Him for lessons learned through struggle. Gratitude shifts your perspective from victim to warrior. You are not here to complain about life. You are here to conquer it with wisdom. And every day you choose gratitude over frustration, you build resilience. This morning, speak thanks before you speak complaints, because a grateful man carries quiet power. This morning, strength is not something you wait to feel. It is something you decide to walk in. Emotions change. Energy levels rise and fall. But decision is stable. You don't wake up strong by accident. You wake up strong by alignment. Alignment with purpose. Alignment with discipline. Alignment with God. There will always be reasons to delay growth. There will always be distractions competing for your focus. But focus is a weapon, and the man who controls his focus controls his future. Do not let small setbacks define your direction. Mistakes are lessons, not identity. Growth requires correction. Maturity requires humility. Instead of asking, "Why is this hard?" ask, "What is this building in me?" Because the difficulty you are facing today is strengthening the version of you that tomorrow requires. Stand firm. Move steady. Think long-term. Your future is shaped by the discipline you choose right now. Pressure does not arrive to destroy you. It arrives to reveal you. When everything feels easy, character stays hidden. But when tension rises, true strength shows. God allows certain seasons to stretch your patience, test your consistency, and refine your reactions, not to break you, but to develop resilience. The world may misunderstand your quiet growth. Others may not see the effort you're putting in, but not all progress is meant to be public. Some victories happen internally before they ever appear externally. This morning, do not seek validation. Seek alignment. When you are aligned with God, approval from others becomes secondary. Your strength is not loud. It is stable, and stability will carry you further than excitement ever could. Fear often disguises itself as logic. It sounds reasonable. It says, maybe this isn't the right time. It says, what if you fail again? It says, play it safe. But safe does not always mean right. Growth lives outside comfort. Faith requires movement, and movement requires courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. God does not promise that every step will be easy. He promises that you will not walk alone. Instead of rehearsing worst-case scenarios, rehearse trust. Instead of imagining failure, imagine preparation. Because every time you move forward in faith, confidence expands. This morning, choose courage over comfort and watch how strength increases with every step. Time is one of your greatest assets. Once spent, it cannot be recovered. That is why discipline matters. That is why focus matters. If you waste your mornings, your days feel scattered. If you build your mornings intentionally, your day gains structure. Success rarely comes from one big decision. It comes from repeated small decisions made correctly. Wake up with purpose. Plan with clarity. Move with intention. Do not allow distractions to steal your direction. Every unnecessary delay costs momentum. The future you desire requires a present you who is committed. This is not about rushing life. It is about stewarding it wisely. When you treat your time as valuable, your growth accelerates. And this morning is another opportunity to invest it well. Strength is not built in moments of applause. It is built in moments of resistance, when no one claps, when no one notices, when quitting feels easier than continuing. That is where identity is formed. You are not defined by what you start. You are defined by what you finish. God sees your consistency. He sees your effort. He sees your restraint, even when others overlook it. Endurance separates those who wish from those who build. This morning, make a commitment to endurance, not temporary effort, not emotional bursts, but steady progress. The version of you that wins later is being shaped now, and the shaping requires patience. Stay consistent. Stay grounded. Stay faithful. Strength is forming. Not every season is meant to be understood immediately. Some seasons are meant to be endured, trusted, and later understood. When things don't make sense, it doesn't mean they lack purpose. God often works in layers. What feels like delay may actually be protection. What feels like loss may actually be redirection. And what feels like silence may be preparation. You may not see the full picture, but you are not required to. Faith is trusting the direction even when the destination is unclear. Instead of demanding clarity for every step, focus on obedience for the next one. One right step, repeated daily changes an entire life. This morning, choose trust over overthinking. Release the need to control every outcome. Some battles are not meant to be fought. They are meant to be surrendered. Peace enters when control leaves, and when peace enters, strength follows. There is a difference between being busy and being productive. Busyness fills time. Productivity builds purpose. Many people stay distracted to avoid confronting their potential. Growth requires stillness at times, reflection, evaluation, honest self-examination. Ask yourself, are my daily actions aligned with who I want to become? If not, today is an opportunity to adjust. God gives wisdom to those who seek it sincerely, not casually, not occasionally, but intentionally. You cannot drift into discipline. You must decide into it. Small habits, repeated consistently, shape character. Character shapes destiny. Do not underestimate the power of small corrections. A slight shift in direction today prevents major regret tomorrow. Move intentionally. Speak intentionally. Live intentionally. Clarity comes when action aligns with calling. Strength is built when excuses lose power. It is easy to justify inaction. It is easy to blame circumstances. But growth begins when ownership begins. You are responsible for your reactions, responsible for your effort, responsible for your focus. Circumstances influence you, but they do not control you. God equips those who are willing, not those who wait for perfect conditions. There will always be reasons to delay discipline. But discipline does not wait for ideal moments. It acts despite imperfection. This morning, remove excuses gently but firmly. Replace them with responsibility. Responsibility does not crush you. It matures you. When you accept ownership of your growth, momentum begins. And momentum, once built, becomes difficult to stop. Character is who you are when no one is watching. It is easy to appear strong publicly. It is harder to remain strong privately. Integrity is consistency between your values and your actions. God is not impressed by performance. He values authenticity, a sincere heart, a disciplined mind, a humble spirit. Do not build your life on appearance. Build it on substance. Substance lasts. Appearance fades. If your private life aligns with your public image, confidence grows naturally. And when confidence grows from integrity, it cannot easily be shaken. This morning, commit to internal alignment. Let your habits reflect your beliefs. Let your actions reflect your prayers. Let your consistency reflect your faith. Real strength begins inside. Progress rarely announces itself loudly. It accumulates quietly. One disciplined morning, one controlled reaction, one wise decision at a time. Then one day, the difference becomes undeniable. But most people quit before accumulation becomes visible. Patience is not weakness. It is strategic endurance. God does not rush what He intends to make sustainable. If the pace feels slow, remember, depth takes time. You are not in competition with the clock. You are in partnership with growth. Stay steady. Stay consistent. Stay faithful. Every morning, you choose discipline over distraction. You are building something permanent, and permanent growth is worth the wait. Not every battle you face is external. Some of the most important battles happen internally. The battle between discipline and distraction, between faith and fear, between patience and frustration. Victory begins inside. If you can master your thoughts, you can master your direction. If you can guard your mind, you can guard your future. God renews strength not only in your body, but in your thinking. A renewed mind sees possibility where others see limitation. A renewed mind sees purpose where others see pressure. This morning, pay attention to what you allow into your mind. Words shape belief. Belief shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. If your thinking changes, your life begins to shift. Guard your focus carefully, because the battle you win internally will eventually show externally. There are moments when quitting feels reasonable, when slowing down seems logical, when stepping back appears safer than stepping forward. But safety does not build legacy. Growth demands discomfort, not constant chaos, but intentional stretching. When muscles grow, they experience resistance first. When character grows, it experiences testing first. Do not interpret resistance as rejection. Sometimes the difficulty you feel is confirmation that you are expanding beyond old limits. God does not increase your capacity without increasing your challenges. This morning, when resistance appears, do not shrink. Stand firm, stretch, grow into it, because the level you are entering requires the strength you are Building right now. Silence is often misunderstood. Many assume silence means absence, but silence can also mean concentration. A craftsman works quietly before revealing the finished product. A builder lays foundation before raising structure. God works in silence more often than in spectacle. If this season feels quiet, do not panic. If progress feels hidden, do not assume nothing is happening. Silence may mean structure is forming. Instead of seeking noise, seek clarity. Instead of chasing attention, chase alignment. The strongest growth happens privately before it becomes visible publicly. And when the time is right, what was built quietly will stand confidently. Trust the silence. It may be the sound of preparation. Consistency creates credibility. When you show up daily, not emotionally, but intentionally, you build trust with yourself. Trust with yourself builds confidence. Confidence built on discipline is stable. Many people wait to feel confident before acting, but confidence grows after repeated action. Start small, stay steady, increase gradually. Do not overwhelm yourself with perfection. Focus on progress. God honors faithfulness in small responsibilities before expanding greater ones. This morning, choose one disciplined action and complete it fully. Then repeat tomorrow. Repetition builds rhythm. Rhythm builds momentum. Momentum builds transformation. And transformation changes everything. Perspective determines peace. If you view every obstacle as attack, you live defensively. If you view obstacles as opportunities to grow, you live strategically. God does not waste seasons. Even hardship contains instruction. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this shaping in me?" The shift in question changes the direction of thought. Peace does not come from avoiding problems. It comes from understanding purpose within them. This morning, choose perspective carefully. Look at your challenges through faith, not frustration. When perspective shifts, strength multiplies, and strength rooted in faith does not easily break. My friend, there are mornings when the weight feels heavier than usual, not because you are weak, but because growth demands more from you. When responsibility increases, pressure increases. When vision expands, resistance follows. Do not be surprised by difficulty. Expansion always stretches capacity. God is not increasing your calling without increasing your strength. What feels overwhelming today may simply be preparation for what you once prayed for. Instead of shrinking under pressure, breathe through it. Stand through it. Learn through it. The pressure is not here to crush you. It is here to condition you. And conditioning builds endurance. Endurance builds resilience. Resilience builds unshakable men. You cannot grow while constantly looking backward. Reflection is healthy. Regret is paralyzing. The past may teach you lessons, but it does not define your future unless you allow it to. My friend, mistakes are not identity. They are instruction. If you learned from it, it was not wasted. God does not discard people because of failure. He refines them through it. Stop replaying what cannot be changed. Start building what still can be. Forward momentum begins when backward attachment ends. Let yesterday instruct you, but let today move you. There will be seasons when no one applauds your discipline. No one sees the early mornings. No one notices the silent prayers. No one recognizes the restraint you practice daily. But unseen effort still counts. Integrity does not require an audience. God measures faithfulness differently than the world measures success. My friend, when you choose obedience over ego, you build depth. Depth sustains success. Shallow growth collapses under pressure. Deep growth stands firm. Stay faithful in quiet seasons. The fruit will appear in due time. Fear often disguises itself as realism. It tells you to lower expectations, to shrink vision, to reduce ambition. But realistic thinking without faith becomes limitation. Faith does not ignore risk. It trusts guidance beyond risk. You were not created to live cautiously small. You were created to live purposefully strong. My friend, courage does not mean recklessness. It means stepping forward while anchored in wisdom. And wisdom grows when you seek God before seeking validation. Confidence rooted in faith does not depend on circumstance. It depends on conviction. Discipline is not punishment. It is protection. Protection from regret. Protection from wasted time. Protection from future disappointment. When you build structure in your mornings, you build stability in your life. Chaos enters where structure is absent. Structure invites clarity. Clarity strengthens decisions. Strong decisions shape destiny. My friend, do not resent routine. Routine builds results, and results compound over time. Stay steady. Stay focused. Stay anchored. The man you are becoming will thank you later. My friend, growth often feels lonely, not because you are abandoned, but because elevation requires separation. Not everyone can walk into the next level with you. Not everyone will understand the discipline you choose. Some will call it extreme. Some will call it unnecessary. But they do not see the vision inside you. God sometimes removes distractions before He releases expansion. Separation is not rejection. It is protection. If certain relationships fade while you grow, do not panic. If certain habits no longer fit your future, let them go. The higher you rise, the lighter you must travel. Carry faith, carry integrity, carry focus, but release what weighs you down. Silence does not mean isolation. It may simply mean transformation. Strength is not built in comfort zones. Comfort stabilizes, but it does not stretch. And without stretching, there is no expansion. My friend, if your current season feels uncomfortable, it may be because your potential is larger than your old environment. Growth feels awkward before it feels natural. The first time you choose discipline over distraction feels forced. The first time you choose prayer over panic feels unfamiliar. But repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity creates mastery. Do not return to comfort simply because growth feels challenging. Stay in the stretch. God shapes strong foundations through consistent tension. My friend, you are not racing against anyone. Comparison steals clarity. Every life unfolds at a different pace. Some breakthroughs happen quickly. Others develop slowly but deeply. Slow development is not failure. It is refinement. God values depth more than speed. When something is built quickly without foundation, it collapses under pressure. But when something is built patiently, it endures. Do not measure your journey against someone else's highlight. Focus on your obedience. Focus on your growth. Focus on your alignment. Your timeline is not delayed. It is designed. There are days when motivation feels absent. On those days, discipline must take the lead. Feelings are temporary. Commitment is structural. My friend, the man who relies only on inspiration will stall when inspiration fades. But the man who relies on commitment will move even when emotion is quiet. God honors perseverance, not dramatic bursts. Steady endurance. When you continue despite resistance, you build resilience. Resilience strengthens identity. Identity stabilizes direction, and direction determines destiny. Even on low-energy mornings, choose consistency. Consistency compounds. My friend, peace is not the absence of challenge. It is confidence in guidance. Life will continue presenting obstacles. Responsibilities will increase. Expectations will rise. But when your foundation is built on faith, pressure does not control you. You remain centered, not because life is easy, but because your anchor is strong. This morning, anchor yourself in truth. Anchor yourself in purpose. Anchor yourself in discipline. Storms may come, but rooted trees do not fall easily, and you are becoming rooted. My friend, you are not here to drift through life reacting to circumstances. You are here to respond with intention. Reaction is emotional. Response is controlled. Every morning gives you a choice. Live by impulse or live by discipline. Impulse feels powerful for a moment. Discipline builds power for a lifetime. God does not shape strong men through convenience. He shapes them through commitment. Commitment when it is hard. Commitment when it is quiet. Commitment when no one notices. The version of you that stands strong later is being built in these ordinary mornings. Do not underestimate ordinary days. They are shaping extraordinary futures. My friend, there will be moments when doubt whispers again. It will remind you of past failures. It will question your direction. It will challenge your belief. Doubt is loud. Faith is steady. Faith does not shout. It moves quietly. It wakes up and continues. When doubt appears, do not fight it emotionally. Anchor yourself spiritually. Return to truth. Return to prayer. Return to alignment. Doubt weakens when discipline strengthens, and discipline strengthens when repeated daily. You are not defined by the voice of doubt. You are defined by the decisions you make despite it. God is not building you for temporary success. He is shaping you for sustainable strength. Temporary success excites. Sustainable strength endures. Endurance requires patience. Patience requires trust. Trust requires faith. If the pace feels slow, it may be because depth is forming. Depth cannot be rushed. What is rushed collapses. What is rooted lasts. This season may feel quiet, but quiet seasons often produce the strongest foundations. Trust the process. You will not always feel confident. Confidence grows after repeated obedience. Every time you choose discipline, your identity strengthens. Every time you resist distraction, your focus sharpens. Every time you trust God over fear, your peace increases. Growth does not happen in one moment. It happens in daily decisions, and daily decisions shape lifetime direction. My friend, Strength is not about never falling. It is about rising again. Failure does not end your story unless you stop writing it. God redeems mistakes. He restores broken seasons. He transforms setbacks into preparation. Do not allow one difficult chapter to define the entire book. Keep writing. Keep building. Keep moving. Gratitude changes perspective. When you focus only on what is missing, weakness grows. When you recognize what remains, strength grows. You still have breath. You still have time. You still have opportunity. That alone is reason to stand firm. Responsibility is not pressure. It is privilege. To lead yourself, to improve daily, to grow intentionally, God entrusts growth to those who take ownership. Take ownership of your mornings. Your mornings shape your life. Peace is not passive. It is controlled strength. When chaos surrounds you, but calm remains inside you, that is power. God does not remove every storm. He strengthens your foundation within it. Root yourself deeper. Momentum is built quietly. One disciplined morning, one focused decision, one faithful prayer at a time. Then suddenly, growth becomes visible. But it was built long before it was seen. Do not stop before accumulation becomes breakthrough. My friend, this morning was never about motivation alone. It was about alignment. Alignment with discipline. Alignment with purpose. Alignment with God. You do not need a dramatic change overnight. You need steady obedience daily. You do not need louder confidence. You need deeper conviction. You do not need a perfect path. You need consistent steps. And when you look back one day, you will not remember one emotional speech. You will remember the mornings you chose to rise. The mornings you chose discipline over distraction. The mornings you chose faith over fear. That is where success was born, not in noise, not in applause, but in silence. Win the morning quietly. Trust God consistently. Build strength daily, and success will have no choice but to follow.